Hey, it's Abby. Ignore the way my face looks right now. I just had dental work done, so I'm a little bit numb. But I decided to clean my Cara Beauty eyeshadow palettes and give my opinions on a few of the colors. Okay, starting with cleaning my desk. Ooh, like magic. This is the Very Good palette. The next one is the Essential palette, which is my absolute favorite. Next we have You Had Me at Aloha. And then the last one is the Mademoiselle palette. This one is full of the prettiest glitters you'll ever see. I'm starting with the Essentials palette. As you can tell, it has been loved. So I'll show you some of my favorite colors. This one is called Luxe. It's not super bright here, but it's a good buildable color. The next one I used is Morning Coffee, and this is probably one of my favorites that I use. The next one I showed is Black Dress. It is not my favorite. Now I'm going to show just a couple of the glitters. The first one is Get the Bag, and then I did Catch Up Sis and Sparkles. I must say Cara Beauty does really well with the glitter colors. Alright, that is it for that palette. Moving on to You Had Me at Aloha. This palette usually gets pretty gross because I mix a lot of the colors into my regular eyeshadow routine. The first color I'm showing is Good Vibes Only. It doesn't really show up that well on a swatch, but it is still really pretty and sparkly. The next color I'm showing is called Fly With Me. It is not one of my favorites. And then the next one is called Ride the Wave. It is really, really pretty. It kind of reminds me of like seafoam. And then this last one I'm showing is called Mermaid Magic, and it is probably my favorite blue sparkle ever. And that is it for You Had Me at Aloha. Next we're moving on to Mademoiselle. And then we had some minor technical difficulties from my really professional setup, and my lights fell. And then they fell again. This first color that I'm showing is called Tu Me Plais. Isn't it so pretty? I think that this palette is like the perfect fall palette. This next color is called Daydreamer. And then they have this whole lineup of like chunky glitters here, and this one I'm showing is called Lullaby. And then I'll show you some of the solid colors from this palette too. The two that I'm showing are Cabernet and Fall in Love. And as you can tell, I get pretty gross doing this. The last palette is the Very Good palette. This I ended up having some trouble with. I actually dropped the palette and completely covered myself in those purples and blue colors. So I'm starting here with Strawberry and then Small Bites. The main culprit of what is all over my sweatshirt currently is Jam. A very pretty color, but very pigmented. The next one I show is Wild Berries. Again, not the most pigmented, but still a pretty color. And then we have Mixed Berry, which is a very pretty glitter. And then the last one is called Yums. I don't use the purple palette a whole lot, but it's still really pretty. And, okay, now that my room is completely covered in glitter and eyeshadow, I'm going to end this here. I've got a few fun things planned with these palettes, so make sure you subscribe and follow along, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.